So, why is USCIS processing times are so slow and about to triple in the next year or so? Why is it happening? Well, we're getting some inside information from a former USCIS officer, and in this video, we'll give you all the details, processing times, why it's slow, what's happening, and what you need to know if you have a case currently with immigration. Hello everybody and welcome back to Immigration Channel. In this video, we'll talk about why USCIS processing times are so slow and about to triple in the next year or so. Now, remember guys that you are going through the immigration process right now. You're filing your I-130s, I-140s, your work permits, and things are not moving as fast as they used to be. Well, there's several reasons for it, and I'm going to try to break down all the reasons in this video. So make sure you watch this all the way until the end. So let's start. The first thing is that in this conversation with former USCIS officer, we got to know some information about how the process works. USCIS officers typically work in different divisions. They get shuffled from one division to another, and they get their perspectives from where they work, whether they work at the service center or at the central processing divisions. In each location, they get different perspective and different insights about how things work and how cases are being processed. The first thing we have to know, and it's true across the board, no matter where the immigration officer works or where your case is being processed, USCIS is understaffed. It's been always this case, and it's getting worse since Trump took office, because not only he was laying off so many officers and divisions, but also getting new people to work at processing is not happening right now. They are hiring more deportation officers, yes, but when it comes to USCIS, staffing has not been increased since Trump took office. Right now, immigration is operating at suboptimal capacity, which means that when they get too many applications from a particular kind, it's going to take them a little bit longer to process those cases because they're understaffed. Now, there are some divisions that are more problematic than others. For example, the areas that process I-130s, there are many I-130s that go through certain divisions. Those divisions get overwhelmed with those cases, like I-130s. And as a result, because they don't have the staffing to process those cases, you'll see adjudication get a little bit slower. Now, in addition to other things that happened this year, you've seen an increase in vetting that came straight from the administration. So on one hand, they're asking them to vet more cases. On the other hand, they don't have enough officers to do the process. So guess what? The backlog is starting to increase. The key elements of those divisions that we see problems are the ones that process DV lottery cases inside the United States. The second one are the waivers, 601 waivers and 601A waivers. Those already been having problems before. We've seen 2.5, 3 years processing. I think it's going to take even longer unless they put more people to process their applications. And finally, the I-130 adjudications, which I think is going to take even longer moving forward. The second thing is pay. They're not getting paid as much as they should. These officers have minimal salaries compared to the work that they do. Now, USCIS is a fee-based agency. They make money when you file cases. And guess what? Right now, many people are scared to file. And I'm telling you, you should not be scared to file, because for the moment, at the recording of this video, cases are still being processed reasonably fast. But 6 months from now, a year and a half from now, it's not going to be the case. It's going to take longer to process cases. So if you're worried about filing cases, you shouldn't be, because too many people are worried. And as a result, they might be getting a little bit less cases and they're going to be making less money. Now, if they have less money, they're not going to have enough money to pay their officers, right? And as a result, less people are going to want to work for the agency, which is already overwhelmed with people that are leaving. The rate of rotation at this agency is unbelievable. This officer said that a unit that had 100 officers working there at the beginning of the year had only 2 of them left by the end of the year. And this is common in many other divisions throughout this agency. The next thing is, he mentioned they have management issues. While some supervisors are great and very helpful, many others are quite toxic and very difficult to work with. And guess what? If you have a boss that is hard to work with and you are tasked with processing cases, sensitive cases, and in many cases are responsible for your future in the United States, are you going to get a green card? Are you going to get a request for evidence, which is going to make it harder for you to get a green card? That management issue within the agency has a direct impact on whether you're going to get an RFE or whether your case will be approved. I know it's a far stretch, but based on this officer, it's exactly what's happening at this agency. And guess what? The reason they have such a big turnover in this agency is because within 2 to 4 years after doing the same job, the possibility for them to advance at UCIS is not much. And therefore, they're believing. And therefore, they need to train new officers that are not aware of certain things. You remember sometimes that you file a case and you get a request for evidence that has nothing to do with your case. They're asking for things that are nothing to do with your case, or they're asking for information that we already gave them. The reason why you see that is because there are many officers that are not trained, they're not really understanding how the system works, and it's very frustrating for us as immigration lawyers, but specifically for you guys as the applicants, that either you have to respond to an RFE or face a denial because an officer didn't understand what's going on. I'll give you an example. We recently had a case where we submitted a green card-based application, I-130. We submit all the documents, and the officer requested evidence that specifically applies for fiancé visas. For example, they wanted proof they maintain communication, that they've met at least once. Well, clearly, if they're married, obviously they've already met. Why are you asking for this information in a marriage green card petition? This is something that you ask in fiancé visa cases. Clearly, it shows lack of training, lack of understanding. And now we know why is this, because again, overwhelmed, get new staff, not enough time to train. This is exactly what's happening. Again, all these things I'm telling you are coming from that officer's perspective after working for the agency for over 10 years. And it's very important for you to understand that, because right now they got some internal memos. And I'm going to tell you about these internal memos in 1 second. But before we do that, if you're here for the first time, guys, please click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, or give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show these videos to more people just like you. As always, if you need help with your immigration matters, send me a text, 619-483-4549, or go to www.immigrationsap.com. Leave your details, and one of our team members will contact you ASAP. Now, let's get back into the video. Now, remember, guys, we're doing a lot of research. We're trying to get a lot of information for you guys every single week to be able to give you the knowledge you need to understand, first of all, when you're going to get your green card finally, and what is happening with your process while you're inside that system. Well, now they got these inside memos. USCIS officers, all of them are getting those memos. And those memos consist of two things. One, increased vettings when the cases come to them. So when you file a case and they receive it in the mailroom, this officer and many of his colleagues are going to start going through the documents. And then they're going to realize that you didn't give them enough documents about your marriage, proof of the bills that you have together, proof of your commingling of assets and financial documents, proof of your relationship, pictures and things like that, your medical exam. If you don't have any of those documents already with the initial filing, guess what? A few months into the process, you're going to get a request for evidence asking for those documents, which is going to prolong your case, which is going to mean that by the time you're going to get you finally an interview, a year or more will pass and your case will be delayed even further. So tip number one, as you get into the middle of this video already, is that you need to provide as many documents as possible in the beginning of your case, because these vetting requirements will make your case not eligible for the interview unless you give them what they need early on. Number two, the vetting requirements also mean that they're going to be making every couple go through an interview. That's already clear to you from previous videos I've made. But also, the interviews are going to become more complicated. What does it mean by that? Well, the last 4 interviews that we've seen, 3 of those couples were separated on the beginning of the interview. And what happened is that each one of those couples were separated, and then they were questioned for about an hour and a half each individually. And during those questioning, they all had a very similar pattern. Tell me about your relationship, but also describe the location where you live in detail, right? Now, this is part of those internal memos where they say, listen, when you actually interview couples, we want you to go deep, separate as many as you can, and go deep, ask them where they live, find any consistencies. And if you do find inconsistencies, those could be reasons to issue notice of intent to deny. And the few intent to deny that I've reviewed in the past week, and those were people that were watching my channel and they had those issues and they didn't know why it's happening, and they saw my videos and they came for a consultation, and during the consultation I said, listen, I've reviewed all those notices of intent to deny, they're all the same, similar, where they were finding inconsistencies which were ridiculous, like, what is the color of your toothpaste? Well, I think her color is green. Well, the wife changed the toothpaste yesterday, now it's blue. Or how many bedrooms do you have? Well, I think we have 4 bedrooms. Where she didn't count that the den is a bedroom, so she said 2. You know what I mean? So these are inconsistencies which are not crucial to the actual validity of the marriage, but they think that they are, and those resulted in notice of intent to deny. In some cases were denied. So remember, increased vettings will increase processing times, will increase the delays of these cases, will increase the time that you're going to get an interview and finally get a green card. So the bottom line is that they don't have enough people to work there. Their turnover is incredibly crazy. The people that are working there right now are not trained, most of them. And as a result, you're going to get more pushback on your side when you file cases. At the same time, they have these internal memos to do more vetting, to check more people, to investigate, to separate in interviews, to have more interviews, to do home visits. HSI doing more home visits right now. And the full picture is this: what do you do? Well, what you do is you, first of all, remain calm. You come prepared. File the documents from day one. If you have an interview, come prepared. Have all the documents. Talk to your spouse. Understand that if you're separated, you might have inconsistencies, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. We're looking at the totality of the circumstances. And at the end of the day, if you stay calm, you come prepared, you will be fine and you'll get your green card. But it's important for you to know that processing times are going to go up. And it's going to be double or triple because of lack of staff, lack of training, turnovers, more vetting, more interviews. That's what it is. Right now, things are still fast. So the bottom line is, if you're watching this video and you're thinking about filing your green card, do it today. Do it today, because by the time you're done with this case in 6 months, 7 months from now, 10 months from now, you'll be done. And those people that waited will be paying the price. You'll thank me later when that happens to you. So guys, thanks for watching my video. Please share with somebody that cares. Let me know in the comments if this helped, or if you're going through this process right now, if you're worried. And all means, send me a text 619-483-4549, or go to www.immigrationsap.com. And as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay safe, stay informed, and stay happy. Thank you guys.